Welcome back to Millers in Motion. When we took you on the tour last time, I thought it was really interesting the way that the rigs are all put together. So I personally wanted to give you a little bit more detail on that. And I drug along somebody with a little bit more knowledge in this department than I did. This is Eric Watson. He is the assistant plant manager here.
Okay, ready for the tour?
Let's go.
Alrighty. We are back here at door 11, back here in the chassis prep. When we get the units, they come in straight from Lippert as a raw chassis. This is our very first station. And we come here, we put the tank floaters in, the bars, we drop the tanks in and do some pre-plumbing and pre-wiring.
And is that specific to RVs, Valors, or just this floor plan, the 44V14?
I don't want to speak for other manufacturers. Here at Alliance, it is specific across all our products. This is how the chassis come in.
Okay.
They come in bare, and we do all of the what's called chassis prep here at our station, our first station online.
All right, awesome.
Step 2, we roll inside.
All right, so once we get that through this door, he's going to tell us a little bit more about what's next.
Okay, after we get it prepped outside, we roll it in. We have our frame flipper. It's built by Paul's Welding. What it does is it's on a train track system, if you will. It rolls back and forth. So we roll it out of the way, roll the unit in. It gets hooked up to the back bumper, and actually, if you can see up front, it gets hooked into the pin box. With the pin box and the back bumper hooked up, we can lift up the entire raw chassis and flip it over. Once it's flipped over, we can run out the underbelly, secure the underbelly. We finish off the what's called rough plumbing, install the axles, tires, and we foam all the voids and stuff that would happen as we're cutting things out so the underbelly lays flat.
Awesome, and that's good for the employees because now they're not under trying to work ahead and they have a better visual of what they're working on. All right, moving on down the line, we have some pre-wiring and hydraulics. He's going to tell us about that.
Yep. So in this station, after it rolls up, after the axles, tires, and underbelly are on, it rolls forward. We wire the unit from the front to the back. So our guys are pulling all the wires, getting everything looped, tucked in, secured, everywhere it needs to be. Also, in this station is where we do our hydraulics. Once we bolt on our hydraulic legs, we run all the hydraulic lines, secure all of the lines, and then we do what's called a purge. And what the purge is, if you're familiar with automotive, it's like bleeding brakes. It gets all of the air out of the system. That way, when you're using your hydraulics up and down, it doesn't skip like there would be air in the lines.
Okay.
We have a whole gray big machine that uses, it's like a bleeder, if you will.
Awesome. And then it looks like they just come this way a little bit?
Absolutely. Then we just roll over.
All right. All right. And then, so then over here, you can see we've got some duct work going in. Next steps.
Absolutely. The heat duct goes in. We're doing our generator and our toy gas line, or gas tanks.
All right.
So he's getting all of those prepped up, ready to go. He's also tests to make sure we don't have any gas leaks because we do not want any gas leaks. We don't want any vapor coming through into the coach. And we're actually doing a secondary seal. So you can see some of the foam on the sides that we're sealing. Inside we're sealing, securing all of the wires. That way nothing gets tangled up.
Awesome. Very good. All right, so we've made it a couple stations in and everything so far has been kind of behind the scenes, if you will, to the consumer. And so now we're starting to get into the flooring section, and that's a little bit more things that we see, things that we appreciate.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so over here we have our composite garage floors. The composite garage floors are put on after our main floor. What we're doing is we're securing those down. We glue down the garage floor. We seal up the tracks, install the tracks, screw them all down. With that seal, that helps with negating any sort of gas leak or any vapor from outside coming in.
Okay, all right, very important.
Over here is where we assemble the floors, build the floors. Once they are built, we grab our hoist, lift the hoist up, lift the floor up, and it comes all the way out and gets installed right here where we're at.
All right. And as you can see, this is one sheet that goes on, so that's pretty nice that it's all like that.
Yep, absolutely.
Excellent. Okay. All right, moving on down the line. So now we have a chassis and we have a floor. What I thought was interesting is that now we start to build the inside, like the cabinetry and some of this carpentry.
Absolutely.
And apparently a toilet too.
Absolutely.
That's a priority here, guys. So, all right, so tell us about all the cabinetry.
So now that we're a couple more stations over, this is what we call base set. So what our base set department does is takes the cabinets, the walls, and bring them all out,
Okay.
read the floor print, measure out where the cabinetry, where the walls go. We're installing the walls, installing the cabinets, kind of getting a rough feel for the inside out of the unit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's nice that when it's open like this, I think it gives the guys more room to work, doesn't
Absolutely.
it? And more visual.
Absolutely.
It's not so dark and closed.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, what's next?
Next, we have our plumbing department.
All right, next up, plumbing. Very important for every coach and also something that needs to be done well because you don't want problems in your plumbing department, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So as you can see, we leave some panels off on line. That way our plumbers can get a nice straight shot through the walls for our vents, our water lines, everything is trying to be seamless.
Awesome.
The water lines that are in the floor all the way to all the fixtures have no fittings. It is a complete water line from fixture all the way to the control.
Oh, that's awesome because fittings you can risk leaking.
Every time we have a fitting, there's a potential for a leak.
We like that as owners. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So while we were standing here talking and looking at some of the progress being made, I noticed that the tires are not on the floor.
Absolutely. So the way we do it when it comes out of chassis prep, we put them up on dollies. Now what having them on dollies does is as we're rolling it down the line, they roll on the dollies. As you can see the guys rolling this here, it's a nice, easy 2 or 3 guys can roll over a 44-foot unit.
All right, and it's probably space saving too, that they can come this way instead of having to be long ways,
Absolutely,
huh?
absolutely.
Awesome. All right, then let's roll with them. All right, it looks like things are finally starting to take shape on the outside and we've got some sidewalls going in.
Absolutely, so this is our sidewall set station. We have multiple carts on complex that have our sidewalls. Our sidewalls are built on complex by our lamination department.
I gotcha.
So we are welding the sidewalls.
Okay.
We are stuffing them with insulation and laminating both sidewalls. When they come through here, we have a hoist system. Both walls at the same time will come out.
Oh, okay.
We set one side at a time, but we hang both walls at the same time. So they will come out off the cart.
Okay.
We start from the back and work forward.
Okay. All right, what were you telling me about the overhead cabinetry here?
So after we get the sidewall set, we roll it over one station. After it gets to this one station right before the roofs are set, we actually set all the overhead cabinets. So that way we can get them nice and tight to the sidewalls.
Okay.
We're pulling everything in. And that way once we set the roof, everything's square, plumb, and true.
Awesome. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but as we've been walking around in this short time, do you see how many people are here? This is how many individual people have a hand in your rig, and that's really important. It's not all machine done. All right, we brought in the catwalk, which can only mean one thing. Roofs are going on.
Yep. So this is our roof set station. What we do is we build the roofs offline, and then we carry them out section by section.
Okay.
Pull them tight, pull the sidewalls tight, screw everything down, put backers. One thing that we also do here at Alliance is you can see our tripods.
Okay.
So we have our tripod set in sidewall set, cabinet set, and roof set. And what that does is we jack it up and it gives what's called a preload.
Okay.
So as we're assembling the sidewalls and the roof, it's simulating the preload that's on your vehicle.
Okay.
So we build it to how it's going to ride on your vehicle.
That's important because these things are meant to move, right?
Absolutely.
So you want to simulate that.
Absolutely.
And when does this front cap go on in relation to the roof?
The front cap will actually get installed down the line about 4 or 5 stations in our metal department.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Very good. Let's go check that out.
Absolutely.
All right. Where are we now?
We are at the beginning of our electrical department.
Oh, okay.
In this station right here, similar to our pre-wire back in the floor department, we actually run the wires through the rafters in our roof. So what we're doing is pulling all the wires from the back forward, drilling our holes, dropping them down. That way everything's seamless, no showing wires.
Okay. Yeah, and then they can also see where they're going. You know, there's no question asked. There's nothing dropping behind walls that you can't see.
Correct.
That's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Let's keep going. All right, so we came from what he calls the rough electric, and these are more of like your switches and more hookups. He's going to tell us some more about that.
Absolutely. So this is what we would consider our hookup station. So after our wires are come down from the roof, all the holes are drilled in the panels, the wires fed through. Our hookup department hooks up the switches, hooks up the lights, hooks up our solar controllers, generators, you name it. It is getting hooked up right here.
Awesome. All right, very important. We like electricity. All right, things are really starting to take shape, it looks like. Tell us more about what's going on now.
So this is the beginning of our metal department.
Okay.
The first station in the metal department is decking. So what we're doing right here is we insulate the roof. After all the wires and everything's secured, we insulate the roof.
Okay.
We have a thermal barrier, and then we put on our decking. When the decking goes on, we're screwing the decking down to the rafters.
Okay.
And then we grind off all the screws and get ready for our metal or our rubber roof.
Okay, very good. All right, so now that we have all the innards, most of the innards, the cabinetry, all that sort of stuff, the roof, the electric, behind us we're starting to see the inside really take shape, and what gives away that this is our 44 is that kitchen right there.
So as you can see, we're here. We have our kitchen, our residential stove. We have our bar top. We have our pantry, our overheads, our little nook cabinets. We have our little coffee cabinet, if you will.
Yes, absolutely.
And we have it's coming together as a whole, as a garage and a separate residential living area.
Right, that was what we liked about the 44, was you get that giant toy hauler space at 14 foot. You still get a big living space with a big sofa, and you get that huge kitchen that you can start to see take shape. All right, and while we were standing here talking, I was picking up that this is also where a lot of your doors and windows go in. And so you see them getting all those secured. And then if you see the lady inside the coach, she's quality control. She's going through various steps along the build process to see what needs to be refined along the way. So there are a lot of things going on every time we stop.
So this is actually our 4th quality control station.
I gotcha.
We have 3 in the back, 1 here, 2 up front, and then a final one up front as well.
Excellent.
So multiple stations are actually QC controlled.
And that's great that they're at different phases of the build process.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. All right, the catwalk is back, which means we're back on the roof, huh?
Absolutely.
All right.
So this station here is our last scaffold station.
Okay.
We install the rubber roof. We install the ACs. We get them all buttoned up on the inside and out on top.
Oh, okay.
After this station, we're ready for slide outs.
Oh, okay. So those go in, is that like the last big thing?
That's one of the last big components we put in.
All right, so now we obviously have slide boxes in. And tell us what was unique about the 44 with that slide box out there.
So with the 44, we have a U-shaped sofa. It actually comes in, fills up the entire slide box. We have a nice big 106-inch overhead.
All right.
The main box over here has a pantry with it as well.
That's awesome to find a pantry in a toy hauler.
Absolutely.
So that was one of the appeals for sure. 2, that's right. Actually, there are 2. All right, this looks a lot different than anything we've ever had before. Tell us what this new setup's about.
So what this is our new manifold system.
Okay.
We no longer have shutoffs in underneath the cabinetry, in underneath the plumbing. And the reason we did that is so we can have our seamless fittings. We don't have any fittings, any potential leaks. We have on and off valves on everything. Everything is labeled. You can see half bath, garage washer dryer. Everything is controlled right here at your manifold.
That is awesome. That was a good idea.
We also, in this station, have what's called our pre-PDI.
Okay.
And what our pre-PDI department does is they go through and do an entire systems check.
Okay.
Make sure we don't have any leaks. Make sure we don't have any shorts in the wiring. You name it, we're testing it.
Okay. It's good to kind of do that here where you can still access so many things instead of wait until it's just completely wrapped up.
Correct.
Huh? All right. We have moved on down the line. We are very close to the end wall, which means we're probably about done putting things onto the rig. We have awnings, we have the back patios, we have stairs to get into the rig. Tell us more about what's going on here.
So in our final finish department, it's kind of self-explanatory. We do the final little details, a lot of final little touches that we like to do here at Alliance that maybe sets us aside from above our competition.
Very good.
As you can see, and you touched on, awnings are on. We're functioning awnings, making sure everything is straight. We actually seal the unit here in final finish, so we're doing our sealing around the outside. We're double checking everything. We have about 1 more station to go, and then it's rolling off the line.
What's the last one?
Our last station is going to be right here.
All right, the home stretch, huh?
Absolutely. We are in our final station. We consider this unit here dealer ready.
Oh, okay.
So this unit will come off the line, it will be cleaned, it will be touched up, it will be walked through, and then we actually roll it right off the dollies and out the door, and it goes back through our PDI process, and we do a whole nother set of PDI checks.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Because we're seeing everybody kind of running around with tape and marking things just that need to be refined. I didn't realize there's a whole second department of just PDI after this.
Absolutely. Here at Alliance, we do 100%. Every unit we roll off the line gets put right back onto our PDI checklist.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for taking us around today. I learned a lot and I really enjoyed getting to see how our 44 was put together.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. It's been fun.
If you guys have any questions for us or for him, we'll gladly relay them. Just drop them in the comments below. And until next time, bye, Mom.